Hey, what it do, sports world? It's me again. The Winner Circle podcast with me, Ray Diggs, is here, y'all. Where passion meets performance and champions are made. I'm your host, Ray Diggs, bringing you the energy, the insight, and the mindset from across the world of sports. From the locker rooms to the big stage, this is where the real ones talk and legends rise, and the motto stays the same. Winners will always win. The Winner Circle podcast with me, Ray Diggs. We are here and we ain't going nowhere. Make sure y'all tune in because we're about to go live now. Peace. Hey, what it do, sports world, and welcome to the Winner Circle podcast, man. I'm coming to y'all live right now. We're about to get ready to talk about college football playoffs, my pick'ems. Okay, yep, I came back with the pick'ems. Okay, man, this right here gonna be a great week of college football. Some of the games are hard to predict. Some of the games are pretty much, you can pick them with your eyes closed. It don't matter because we already know what's gonna happen. But before I get started, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. Make sure y'all give me your feedback on what you all think about this segment. But listen, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. We got, can Alabama get their revenge at on Oklahoma? Will Texas A&M be able to slow down Miami's high-octane offense of Carson Beck and those weapons of JoJo Trader and also the young wide receiver, the young freshman that they have down there in Miami? Will this right here be the same old beat down again for Ole Miss versus Tulane? Can James Madison go to Oregon and pull an upset? It's a big one, but can it happen? We don't know. But, man, I'm going to tell y'all something. Alabama versus Oklahoma is going to be a hell of a game tomorrow night. Alabama right now, I just don't know. Do I want to pick them? Y'all know I'm a Roll Tide fan. Y'all see them back there in the background. I don't know if I want to pick them tomorrow. They're going on the road to Oklahoma, which Oklahoma just came off a win a few weeks ago at Alabama, which they beat them last 24-3 at Oklahoma. So I don't know about going to Gaylord Stadium again. Can Alabama muster up an offense to get a win down there in Oklahoma, down in Norman, Oklahoma? Now, this right here is going to be a different type of game. Like last game when they played against Oklahoma, Alabama did everything perfect. They had the time of possession. They had a good offensive game plan. If you think about it, Ty Simpson threw for almost 400 yards, but he had one pick, but he also had one touchdown. Now, I want to know, this right here is what I'm thinking about when I talk about Alabama versus Oklahoma. Alabama's defense is going to be defense. Will Alabama defense be able to slow down John Mateer and that Oklahoma offense? Can Oklahoma offense slow down Ty Simpson and the Oklahoma offense? Alabama, I think that they have a bigger task because I think that Oklahoma defense is better than Alabama's defense. So I think that Oklahoma's defense can pretty much stand and possibly slow down that Alabama's offense. Now, John Mateer, since he's back from that hand injury, we don't really know what's been going on with him. He's been slow, he's been sloppy. Their offense has been pretty much sloppy, but they've still been winning. They've gotten to a 10-2 records. Brent Venable defense. I'm talking about when I think about this game right here, this is what I think about. I think Brent Venable is going to throw the kitchen sink at Ty Simpson, which I think he should do it. I think he should let the dogs off the leash, unleash them. And I'm talking about bliss him from the start to the finish of this game. Make it very uncomfortable for that Alabama's offense. And just see how it worked. Can Ty Simpson make plays? He was making plays early in the season, but now, later in the season, he's been pretty much off target, throwing picks, missing wide open receivers. And a lot of people saying it's because of his offensive line, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. I watched some game where Ty Simpson have amazing time. He have time back there in that pocket, and he'll still miss a wide open target. So I don't think it's all. I think a lot of people are saying that Ty Simpson is hurt. Now I don't know because I ain't heard no reports of it. He hadn't been on no injury report, but they're saying that he's been injured. I would say this. I think if Alabama cannot go in there and control this crowd, because it's going to be loud tomorrow night at Oklahoma. It's going to be so freaking loud inside that stadium. If they cannot, first of all, if they cannot control the noise, if they cannot control the crowd noise, it's gonna already be a long night. They're gonna have to slow down John Mateer in his legs. His I feel like he's more dangerous when he's running, even when he passes. Even though he have a nice arm, I think with those legs, he pretty much will, he can give a defense coordinator nightmares with the legs. Alabama's receivers is going to have to make plays. That means that Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Diesel Horton, they're going to have to make big plays for Ty Simpson. Jam Miller is back. Yes, Jam Miller is back. I don't know how healthy he is, but he is back. Jam Miller is going to have to run the football. He's going to have to take some of that pressure off of Ty Simpson. If all of these things right here can work, I think Alabama can go up into Gaylord Stadium down in Norman, Oklahoma, and get the win. Now, Oklahoma, they have the perfect remedy. They're at home. John Mateer at quarterback. You got Brent Venable as your head coach. You know what he loves to do. He's a defensive-minded head coach. We know what he's going to do. He's going to throw the kitchen sink. He's going to blitz. And I think Oklahoma got one of the best defenses in all of college football. I know for a fact they have a top 5 defense. So I think that if they can make it uncomfortable for 4 quarters for Ty Simpson, this game right here can possibly go into Oklahoma's favor. Now, when I look at it, Alabama's had the physical edge in the trenches and shows up in playoff environment. This right here was under Nick Saban. I can't say that right there for Kalen DeBoer. Okay, Oklahoma's defensive structure struggles when forced to tackle downhill for 4 quarters. They do. They normally do struggle, but their defensive line can dominate they can dominate anybody's offensive line. Oklahoma, I'm saying. They can dominate. Their defensive line can pretty much dominate the opposing team's offensive line. That's going to be a problem. The key for Alabama is avoiding early mistakes. If Alabama can avoid early mistakes, I think they can possibly keep this game close into the 4th quarter and possibly, get the win later in the game. Can possibly, steal one in Norman. But I'm going to tell you why this right here is going to be difficult. Because the last 2 times that Alabama has played against Oklahoma, they have given up a defensive touchdown to Oklahoma's defense. So last game, Oklahoma pretty much was at the 40-yard line. They basically didn't have nothing. 1 or 2 offensive drives that was touchdown. Everything else came from a muff punt by Ryan Williams, pick 6. So these are the things that Alabama is going to have to. If they can stay away from the big mistakes and not allow that crowd to take over this game, I think Alabama had a big chance. I think they have an amazing chance to win this game. But if I was a bet man, y'all know I got to go with Alabama to win this game. I'm not saying that I'm very confident in them winning this game, but I'm going to ride with Alabama to win this game by a score of 31-24. I think it'll be 31-24. I think Alabama will somehow, some way keep it early, keep it close, and then they'll hit them late with a long touchdown by Ryan Williams, and I think it'll be 31-24. And I think Alabama will go down. They'll win this game, and then they'll get ready for next week as they get ready to go and face the #1 team in all of the nation, which is the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, Texas A&M against Miami. This right here is going to be a very intriguing game. Texas A&M, they're at home. Everybody that knows anything about College Station, that is one of the hardest college football stadiums to play in. And Miami, yeah, they play in Loud Stadium, but they ain't never seen nothing like Texas A&M. I can tell you that already. Now, the thing that these 2 teams have in common is both of these teams beat Notre Dame. So now they will face against each other. Now, everybody, I've been looking at a lot of people just saying that they feel like Miami and Carson Beck can go into Texas A&M and win. I think they can win. I think that Miami is built like an SEC team. They have the offensive line of an SEC team. They have the defensive line of an SEC team. They have the weapons around them. And you got the young freshman Malachi Tony. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite wide receivers in all of college football. Malachi Tony, the young true freshman from Miami. I think that this kid right here, if you allow him to bust the game open, it's going to be issues for Texas A&M. I can tell you that right now. But Carson Beck is going to have to contain the turnover. If Carson Beck can come out here and play mistake-free football, Texas A&M, they're in trouble. Now, on Texas A&M, they have their own quarterback, Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed is one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. This kid can hit you from both ways. He can hit you with a deep throw. He can hit you with the short, and also he can beat you with his legs, as we've seen him do against LSU. So this right here is a very hard game to pick. Now, I could see Miami going into Texas A&M and beating them, but I can also see Texas A&M at home with that crowd behind them, stomping Miami out, beating Miami by 2 touchdowns. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the home team this time. I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M with Marcel Reed and all the rest of those weapons. I don't know if Moss is back, but if Moss come back, the running back, and the wide receivers weapon that Marcel Reed have with that defense, I think that they can win a pretty easy. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I think they can win this game by at least 10 points or more. So I'm going to go with, even against my better judgment, because everybody know how I feel about Malachi Tony. Malachi Tony is one of my favorite players. I like JoJo Trader too, even though he don't play a lot, but I like JoJo Trader. So, but if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Texas A&M because it's an SEC team. Everybody know I'm pro SEC. I'm going to go with Texas A&M to beat Miami, even though I think that this game right here can go either way, because both of these teams are built for this type of environment. Both of these teams are built for this type of game. I can easily see Miami going in there and Mario Cristobal winning this game. But like I said, I'm going to go with Texas A&M to beat Miami. And then we have Ole Miss at home, Jordan Hemingway Stadium. Oh, man, against Tulane. As y'all know, a few weeks ago, Tulane went down to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss pretty much ran them out of the stadium in 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, it didn't even matter. Everybody was pretty much going to concession stand, getting food, and doing all other things except watching the game because Ole Miss was already up by 4 touchdowns. They ended up winning the game by 5 touchdowns. Will it be like this minus Lane Kiffin, even though they have Charlie Weiss Jr. as the offensive coordinator that's still there? This right here is the beginning of the golden era. The golden era. This right here is Ole Miss's new head coach. Then you also have Tulane head coach who's boggling 2 jobs. As y'all know, he's the new coach, John Summerall. He's the new coach down there at Florida. But he's also managing what's going on in Tulane. Is that going to be too much? I don't know. Both of these teams lost their head coaches, so that's a pretty even matchup. But John Summerall, if I had to pick, I think he's a better coach than Ole Miss coach is. But I think Ole Miss is just too much talent. You have to beat Tulane. Have to play a perfect game to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss don't have to play a perfect game to beat Tulane. Now, this game right here is going to be at Ole Miss. I think the crowd is going to be crazy. But I also feel like going inside there, they lost Lane Kiffin. This crowd want to make sure that the new head coach pretty much feel wanted. Let them know that we have your back. I think that they're going to let Tulane have it. It's going to be so loud inside that stadium. I don't know if their quarterback is going to be able to deal with that type of pressure. I think Tulane won't win it by 5 touchdowns. I mean, I think that Ole Miss won't win it by 5 touchdowns, but I can see them winning it by 3. I think it's going to be a 21-point game. I think it's going to be a 20-piece. No sauce, all flats. I think this game right here would be. And the reason why I feel like that is because it's levels to this, y'all. When we talk about college football, everybody can talk that what you want to talk about. Cinderella story. Like I said before, it ain't no Cinderella's happening there because it's levels to this. It's levels to college football. It's unlike college basketball. You running up and down the court, shooting a basketball. You know, you can hit a jump shot or whatever. You can be lucky and you can just hit a bunch of shots in a game and you can end up being a Cinderella story and get to the Final Four. In college football, it's a little bit different. The reason why is because you got teams like Ole Miss, they got real life playmakers. You got Trinidad Chandler. You got Kewan Lacey. You got the wide receivers and the tight ends. You got the defense that you got over there at Ole Miss. And Tulane is just regular Tulane. And I think that is that's going to be the issue when they step on the field. It's levels to this. It's a team that have talent. They're just talented. I think the game is going to be close, kind of like the first game was in the first quarter or 2. And then I think round about the 3rd quarter, I think Ole Miss will pretty much take control and then they'll cruise on and get ready to head on to the second round of the playoff. I'm going with Ole Miss to win this game, and I'm going with Ole Miss to win by at least 21 points. And this right here would be the new era of Ole Miss head coach. And I think John Summerall would pretty much wrap up this thing, wipe his hand with Tulane, and get on down there to Florida and get ready to get started with them. I'm going, like I said, Ole Miss could win this game comfortably. Real. We got James Madison traveling to Alston Stadium to face the Oregon Ducks. Y'all see I got the Ducks back there. Listen, like I just said with this, I think the task is just too tall. I think it's just too much. I don't know if they can go into Alston Stadium, one of the hardest stadiums to play in, and beat this Oregon team. Dan Lanning is going to have this team prepared. Dan Lanning is going to have this team ready. Same thing I said about Miami. Oregon is a SEC school. They have SEC linemen, they have SEC offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and they got SEC playmakers. I know I'm saying SEC a lot, but everybody know SEC is the cream of the crop. That's why I'm talking about SEC. But I feel like when you look at Oregon, this team right here is built like Ohio State, like Georgia, like Alabama, like Florida, like teams like that. Not Florida, but like teams like from the SEC and the premier teams in the Big Ten, which they the Big Ten as well. That's why I don't know if James Madison got enough talent. I just don't know if they can just go in there and hang with them for 4 quarters, maybe a quarter, maybe 2 quarters. But I think that in the end, I think Oregon, I think that their playmaking style, their weapons, all their weapons that they have, I think it'll start wearing down this James Madison team. And I expect for Oregon to win this game pretty easy. I would say that this game right here would possibly be like the Ole Miss Tulane game, a 21 to 28 point win. And like I said, man, it's just the talent gap. People can say what they want to say, but when you step out here on this football field, you have 5 stars, 4 stars, and you got teams like James Madison that maybe got 2 stars. And I'm not saying that stars matter, but we've seen what Oregon can do. We've seen Dan Lanning. And it's just a different environment. And it's going to be different for them to go on the road at way up there at Alston Stadium, which is one of the hardest stadiums to play in, and possibly get a win. I just can't see that happening. Like I said, I can see Oregon winning this game easily. I can see, like I said, at the beginning, I can see Dante Moore possibly making a mistake or 2. And then I can feel like he'll possibly get his rhythm later on in the game, maybe late 2nd, 3rd quarter. And then he'll probably pretty much push them and win this game comfortably. But I can also see another thing is I can see Dante Moore coming out here dominating, because when I look at this game right here, it's 2 games that I feel like quarterbacks, well, 3 games that I feel like these quarterbacks can pretty much solidify themselves, because the NFL draft is so weak this year. Everybody, y'all don't even know who the quarterbacks in the draft. I think that Ty Simpson can pretty much solidify himself. If he goes on a run, he can possibly be a top 5 draft pick in this draft, being that this quarterback draft is so weak. Ty Simpson is one. Carson Beck is another one. I think that if he can go get hot and go on a nice little run, I think he could possibly solidify himself as a top 5, top 10, top 15 pick in the upcoming draft. Also, Dante Moore. I feel like Dante Moore, if he goes on a run and he can possibly get hot later, and he can improve his draft stocks. But those are the 3 quarterbacks I feel like, man, that can possibly, improve their stocks. Marcel Reed, I think he's already coming back for another year. And the other quarterbacks, Tulane quarterback and James Madison quarterbacks, I really don't know about those. John Mateer, I think John Mateer is probably coming back next season to Oklahoma. So I don't think that even if he go on a run, I think he'll still come back next season probably, or he's a senior. He could possibly be gone regardless. But like I said, those 3 quarterbacks there is the ones that I feel like can make the most noise. I think that those 3 quarterbacks there is the ones that can possibly solidify themselves as top 5, 10, 15 draft picks in this upcoming draft. And that's Ty Simpson, and that's Dante Moore and Carson Beck. If these 3 quarterbacks right here plays good and goes far into the playoffs, I think that these quarterbacks, at least 2 or 3 of these quarterbacks, all 3 of them, can possibly come out early and go to the NFL draft, being that this right here is a weak NFL draft. Like I said, they are the 3 best, and they ain't even saying they are all that, but they are the 3 best in this upcoming draft. And then you got Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. I like Cade Klubnik. I've been like Cade Klubnik ever since he was down there at Austin Westlake. And I like him as one of those sleeper quarterbacks. I think that somebody's going to end up taking him after his pro day. I think somebody will end up taking him late in probably the first, second, maybe even the third round. I don't think he'll slip past the third round, depending on how he does at his combine. I don't think he'll pretty much slip past the third round, which is Cade Klubnik, the Clemson quarterback. So those are my picks, man. Like I said, I'm going to go with Alabama to beat Oklahoma. I'm going with Texas A&M at home to beat Texas A&M at home to beat Miami. I'm going with Ole Miss at home to beat Tulane, and I'm going with Oregon at home to beat James Madison. So that's Alabama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oregon. Those are my picks for this weekend in college football. Hey, listen, you can use the picks if you want to, but listen, don't talk to me when you lose. And because sometimes I pick the right games, sometimes I don't. But hey, that's just the way everything works. So hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Who y'all think is gonna win? This is gonna be a hell of a week of college football, and it starts tomorrow at 8:00 at Gaylord Stadium down there in Norman, Oklahoma. It's going to be Alabama, Oklahoma. Man, that's going to be a hell of a game. Make sure y'all tune in. Hey, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Winner Circle podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, I will be coming back because I got to talk about Arkansas high school football and the awards, the Hootens Award, and why I think that some of the things happen. And I want to explain to y'all what I mean by that. So make sure y'all tune into that one. I'll be coming back to y'all right now to talk about that. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Peace.
Mr. Diggs, we're on in 5. Vegas can't be choosers, but grandma chose trace. She raised me on scraps.